Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning I would like to present to you a great music tradition from the island of Borneo. I come from Sarawak, a state of Malaysia. It's the largest state of Malaysia, but it is situated on the island of Borneo. Borneo itself is divided politically into several entities. The smallest is the country of Brunei. Then there are the two states of Malaysia, Sarawak, where I come from, and Sabah. And then there is the lower part of Borneo, which belongs to Indonesia, or specifically the Indonesian province of Kalimantan. So as you can see, Sarawak shares a very long border with Kalimantan. And the indigenous people of Borneo, there are nearly 20, or actually if you count in Sabah, there'll be nearly 30, but for Sarawak itself, over nearly 20. And many of these indigenous people live on both sides of the border. Okay. This is the position of Longmo. The people whose music I will be speaking of are the Kenyah. These are the Kenyah of Longmo. They are an Austronesian-speaking people with a long, proud warrior tradition. They are among the tribes which tourists know as the headhunters of Borneo. Kenyah dwell in the upper reaches of four major rivers of Borneo: the Baram and the Balui in Sarawak, the Kayan and the Mahakam in Indonesia, and in the past there were also significant numbers in the highlands, the Usun Apau Plateau of Sarawak and the Apokayan of Kalimantan. 20 years ago, I was looking for local repertoire for my choir to sing and for songs for my student teachers to teach in schools. And sadly, there was very little transcribed repertoire for Malaysian folk songs. So I began my journey into many upriver villages, among them 7 villages in the Baram, these are all the villages, and 3 villages in the Balui. And I started because I read about the Kenyah. This is among the writings, that they sing in harmony. And it is a choral tradition which involves everybody in the community. So I was not disappointed. This is a song of invitation to dance. So, as you can see, they sing in homophonic harmony. The Kenyah, as many other indigenous people in Borneo do, they dwell in longhouses. Perhaps many of you are not familiar with longhouses. So this is a view of a longhouse from the outside. So it can be described as a village under one roof, like a hotel, we could say. And each family occupies one apartment, right? So you can have, in the old days, there could be 100 doors in the longhouse. And the beautiful thing about it is that when you open your door, you come out to a long veranda, and it is there that the musicking takes place. Anybody can sit on the veranda and take part in the musicking. And the Kenyah actually are very well known for their instrumental music, which some of you may have heard of, the sape. It is a lute. Jatong utang, a type of xylophone, and other instruments which are often played in ensemble. But for today, I will be concentrating on something which is not as well known, but which has fascinated me for 20 years, their songs. And I will be speaking specifically on their dance songs, or Belian Dado, which are sung while performing a simple line dance led by a few confident singers. Generally, the performers proceed counterclockwise along the veranda of the longhouse as they do so. I'll just give you a short video clip to see how they coordinate the singing and dancing. the basic step is a stamp, shuffle, step, shuffle, stamp. That's the basic step, because there are many variations. The Kanya are fun-loving people, and they sing wherever they are gathered. For example, in this clip, by the river, they brought us for a picnic by the river, and they started singing. And actually, the first song, they are actually having a pre-rehearsal. They decide which song to sing. This is the meaning of the song. The young people in the video are actually my students. I think you have noticed that they have sung in harmony, what I would describe as homophonic harmony, and most display a metric regularity, well, as it is a dance song, but they do differ considerably from what could be termed Western influenced contemporary songs. For example, they are overwhelmingly pentatonic. And out of the 80 plus songs that I have notated, I would say about 50 of them could be classified as dance songs. And among those, at least 21 of them I have observed to have been sung in harmony. And I show 9 of them here. As you can see, majority are in the pentatonic and hemitonic pentatonic. Not all of them end in do. There are some in the major scale, and generally 2-part harmony. This is a very popular song sung in every longhouse. This is a transcription of the song, of the last two phrases of the song. The soloist, this is the soloist part. The chorus generally is in 2 parts, sometimes 3 parts, especially in the tonic, what would you term the tonic chord. And the one part of the chorus will reproduce the main melody in unison with the soloist, while the other generally follows the contour of the melody and at intervals of 4ths, 5ths, 6ths, sometimes 3rds. The Kenya aesthetic differs somewhat from that of the Western classical in that intervals of the 4th and 5th often occur in succession, or what we would term parallel 4ths and 5ths, but this is interspersed with 6ths and occasionally 3rds, unisons, and octaves. And according to my analysis, these conventions are related to, or at least compatible with, Western harmonic conventions, except that it is confined to the hemitonic pentatonic scale. That is the F, the Fa, and the T are missing. So if we compare it to Western chords, they would say there is chord 1, the do, mi, so, chord 2 for re, la, 5, so, re, these are the common combinations, and 6, la, do, mi. For example, the D major for this song, these would be the notes, except the G and the C sharp are missing. But then for other songs, the minority of the songs, probably, I think the more recent developments, then you get the Fa and the T. And if you put the chord progressions, this is what we get. Now, I'd like to show to you another type of dance song, sometimes the similar tunes but sung in a different way. Instead of singing as they dance, they sing to invite people to come and perform a solo dance. Both the men and the women perform what we call virtuoso solo dance. To persuade them to come out to the floor, they will bring the paraphernalia such as the headwear or the feathers for the women, or the shield and the sword for the men. and they will sing songs like this. So I will be showing a video clip having two rather different songs, but they both have the same kind of lyrics, Miling Mubai, which means pivot turn, a central movement in the Kenya solo dance. First one is in a major key, second one is in the usual do pentatonic. This is the second. This is just a transcription. The first one, as you can see, is in a major key, and the accompanying voice predominantly in intervals of 6, so it sounds very Western. The second is typically do pentatonic, and with strings of fifths interspersed with 6. Sadly, this great musical tradition is fading away, and as far as I know, the Kenya in the whole of Borneo are maybe the only groups still singing in harmony that have been observed singing in this type of harmony. There is another group, the Kayan, a neighboring group, but their harmony is basically just a drone. Okay. This is fading away for several reasons. The first is economic. There is considerable rural-urban drift. In fact, many villages that I've visited are half empty. Everybody prefers to go to the towns. That's where the money is. The second is because of the remoteness of their villages, the children are sent to boarding schools from a very young age, from the age of 7 even. So they only come back for long holidays, such as Christmas holidays, as I showed you in the earlier clip. And that is the only time they are exposed to this culture. So generally when I go around, the younger people are not opening their mouths. They'll follow along, but they may recognize the tunes, but they can't sing them. And those who go to the towns, they can't even speak the language anymore, because the Kenya are actually a very small minority, and there's a lot of intermarriage. Then the third is the building of mega dams. This is a very controversial issue in Sarawak, and there's a lot of opposition from environmental groups. But actually, thousands of people have been displaced from their villages. And there is a danger that the Baram Dam, if built, will displace 20 villages and 20,000 people, and it is possible that this whole music culture will be wiped out. And it is a great pity, because I find the songs, which are mainly pentatonic, will be very useful for music education. And I think the harmonies are, the type of harmonies they sing are also very useful. I think those of you educators know that many educators believe that years of training and music literacy are needed to build the skill of singing in harmony. However, the Kenya managed to acquire this skill early in life just by listening and direct participation. And I feel that this is partly because the subsidiary voice constitutes a distinct and attractive melody in itself. And here I would like to invite my daughter Julia up here to help me illustrate this with a song. And I would like to invite the members of the audience to participate. The score is up here. Right. If you can't see the words, can you just sing the la la la? Okay. So I'll divide in 2 parts. A bit higher. A bit higher.
La ne tu yang na la na sa la la ma. La ne tu yang te lu na man lan pa lat na man pa lat uju landa ta lan landa tu yan menjam pu yan kumbin landa tu yang.
Thank you. There are many other songs. For example, this song called Ilun Kwai, or The Orphaned Argus Peasant, was a hit with my 10-year-olds. I tried this song out in school. The harmony only comes in the last line. La, so, mi, so, so, so. So they managed to master this in one lesson. And the topic is a very useful one. It's a starting discussion for environmental issues, because this bird is actually an endangered species. But the feathers are beautiful, and they're used for decorating warrior hats, so not many of these birds are left. This is the meaning. There are actually 7 verses to this song. These songs have been introduced to children of different ethnic groups, previously unacquainted with Kenya dancing culture. Many of the children that we try to teach these songs to have never even heard of the Kenya, because they constitute only 2% or less than 2% of Sarawak's population. So these are my students. We have tried to introduce these songs together with their instruments. In intensive day-long workshops with students at selected schools and colleges. And from 2011 to 2012, I also managed to enlist the help of my students to try these songs out during formal lessons in elementary schools, including 6 Chinese medium schools. The songs were introduced to them during music lessons over a period of 8 weeks, after which we asked them several questions. They wrote down their responses, and these are among their responses. They enjoyed the songs. These are their remarks about the characteristics of the songs. They liked the dance movements. They appreciated the chance to learn 2-part songs, because this is something not generally done in Malaysian schools. They find it very hard to sing in parts. And the lyrics, although strange to them, they found very interesting. It was a new language, very meaningful, my own reflections. And some of the remarks from the children from Chinese schools. Right. Yeah, I think that's all I have time for. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chong Pek Lin, and your daughter for this presentation and performance again as well. I think it's very interesting to position you for most arts. Please, your questions, comments. Derek.
First and foremost, thank you for a fantastic presentation and the singing. I'm interested in this community because I think, it's just a comment only, and see what you can say, the British impact, the arrival of colonialism and European music, has it influenced these people? And 2, if they are Christians, or I don't know if they are Christians, hymn tunes and European hymn tunes and Christian tunes may have played a part in the community. That's my just related questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Larry. Yes, and thank you for the question. That is actually a question many people have asked me. And in fact, especially because they sing in harmony, the Westerners, the British especially, try they compare it to the Welsh singing, because that is very similar to it reminds them of the Welsh. But as far as I know, their tunes, as I point, because they are most of them are pentatonic. In fact, the older layer of songs, they are also hemitonic, and there are also many older songs which are sung with a drone and hemitonic scales. But I do not think that this. I think, as somebody else said, this is actually pre-Christian. It is pre-Christian, but it's definitely maybe especially the major songs that would have come with the Western influence. And perhaps the tuning of the scales, yes, the scales may have been altered, the intervals altered slightly within the last century. But generally this is pre-Christian, and if you say it is Christian, then what about all the other 20 odd indigenous groups? There are no other groups which sing this type of harmony. And what else I'm going to say? It is the harmony, I think it is related also to their instruments. Yeah, I didn't have time to speak of the instruments. One of their ancient instruments is the kadire. It is a mouth organ, which it is one of the earliest instruments which sounded in harmony. So definitely do, so there. Similarly with the sape, do, so, so, and jatang utang pentatonic scale. And it is my theory, I don't know if they support it, that they are Austronesian. And there is some relation with the Austronesian groups in Taiwan, many of whom also sing in harmony. For example, the Bunun, also in this this chordal harmony, a do-mi-so harmony. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
And I was just thinking the same. Related to Western harmony in this kind of pentatonic songs, do you think that it could be another way of just approaching this system of, because they have the pentatonic
Yes,
and hemitonal system in their minds, so they just go those steps, these steps, and then not necessarily following the rules of the harmony. Okay, this is an outsider question, really outsider question, but since you have been working so much
yes,
with
definitely.
them.
I cannot, because when I question them, they cannot explain to me how they have. I am just comparing it, so I was wondering if it is similar or whether possibly similar routes. I'm not saying that they are following these routes, no. Yeah. But it seems to fit into our Western, what we think of Western scheme of things. So perhaps there is, an underlying principle, right? Acoustic. I'm not sure. Yes. And yes, sorry, just one addition. Yeah, as far for this group, the Longmo, actually the Christianity came very late, actually in the 70s, whereas the songs came much even earlier than that. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much for this very interesting, wonderful presentation. Just a little thing. It's very interesting, this idea of a longhouse system. And there is a leader in the longhouse system. The leader,
the chief, yes, the chief.
Is he the leader of the music also? Who is the leader, the soloist?
Okay. Sorry.
Singer?
I think in every village there are several people who are known to be good singers, and
it's only a matter of voice quality or
voice quality, general. But then it is also this. I think that these people are also members of the nobility. They have a noble class. So it is the noble class which are known to be better singers or deemed to be better singers and dancers.
And is the chief of the longhouse or not?
The chief must be from the noble family.
Okay.
Yeah, they are a very hierarchical society there. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Voices move in the same direction.
It is. I think it is just our
Mostly.
analysis. Yeah, mostly. But sometimes there is contrary motion.
Yeah, and Simha Arom found that this parallel movement,
Yes,
movement in some direction. It's not parallel movement. Can be connected with tonal languages. Is this their language is tonal? I think
not particular, not as tonal as Chinese, let's say. Not very. More like Malay, less tonal than, like, say, the Chinese. Yeah.
And what about this discussion about relationship with Western harmony? Of course, I can't say anything about it, but
that would be very
my
controversial.
intuition says that no,
It is not, isn't it?
it's not.
Not okay. That is possible too. I was just trying to compare it.
No, not all harmony is Western harmony.
They probably have their own rules. I'll just see what their sounds.
And one more question: what are the meaning of these songs? Are there? It's ritual or just celebration?
Celebration, recreation.
Just celebration.
I mean, these are dance songs. They have other songs. The songs I'm talking about, because these are the ones with interesting melodies and how they are. There's actually a pool, like we say. It's not purely improvisational. There's a pool of verses from which they pick, and sometimes they just pick this verse to suit the song. Yeah. But some songs are, I think the original verse were love songs, some were farewell songs, and so on. But generally, the general usage is free for recreational users to welcome people as they sing and dance along the Lama
But
House.
it's not magic.
No.
Magic ritual?
No, nothing to do with
Just
ritual.
entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment, yes.
Thank you.
And everybody is free to join in. Even you're sitting, anybody who's sitting in the audience, they can just get up, join the line, and dance. Yes.
Thank you.
Is there any hierarchy to the different parts? Like, is there a way that they decide who sings?
That's a very interesting question. I have not been able to find out. I think it is more or less, it's up to them which part they want to join. They seem to know, be familiar with both parts. But there are some longhouses in which only one part comes out. Yeah.
Some more questions? If not, so thank you